Hey guys, welcome to 5 Mistakes You Keep Repeating. I'm Richard Wolf, president of MEDFITNESS. We are a strength training studio located in St. Charles. We make our clients' lives better by providing evidence-based, supervised strength training. If you want to learn more about what we do, visit medfitnessprogram.com. Let's jump right in to our main message tonight, these 5 mistakes that you keep repeating in your strength workouts. We're going to start with our central message, and that is simple. It's that in order to fully benefit from your strength workout, in order to get the most out of it and to achieve the greatest health benefits, you need to both love and hate your strength workout at the same time. You need to love it because the benefits are literally unlimited. We'll talk about some of those tonight. But you also need to hate it because done properly, productive strength training by its very nature is uncomfortable and difficult. So we put those two together, we end up with a productive love-hate relationship when it comes to strength training. We're going to walk through each of your 5 mistakes, and these are mainly mental mistakes, ways of looking at strength training that are incorrect, that end up limiting the potential you have to gain benefits from your strength workout. So let's dive right in on big mistake number 1, and it is a huge one. It's prevalent not only at MedFitness, but it's prevalent throughout the world of fitness. And that is that when people are engaging in an abdominal exercise, such as the abdominal crunch here at MedFitness, which is the first exercise on the A and B line. Everyone who trains at MedFitness knows that exercise. But when you perform that, people mistakenly believe that that's going to help them shrink their waistline. I can't tell you how many clients are excited because we have that exercise. They think, great, I need to slim down my waistline. This is going to help me do it. Well, here's the truth. The fat cells in your abdomen are completely unrelated to the muscles that make up your abdominal wall, your rectus abdominis muscles. Those are 2 completely separate tissues. And when you're doing that crunch, contracting those muscles on your waistline, the nerves that are communicating information to the muscles to contract are completely disconnected. They don't communicate with the fat cells. They don't send messages to the fat cells. They don't modify the metabolic activity of the fat cells. They simply communicate with the skeletal muscle and allow it to contract and produce movement within your skeleton. So these are 2 separate organ systems, and it's a good way to sort of think of them is to think of the weather in Los Angeles, out in California, and then think of the weather on the East Coast in New York. Those weather systems are 110% unrelated. What happens in New York is not happening in LA and vice versa. Same thing here. What's happening with your rectus abdominis muscles during an exercise like abdominal crunch is completely unrelated to the metabolic activity of what's happening in the fat cells. And so this is a little discouraging for some folks who feel like that's a great waist slimming exercise. It isn't. It's a terrible way to try to slim your waist down. It'll never help you to shrink your waist size. So why perform abdominal crunch if it doesn't help me to shrink the size of my fat cells? Well, for a couple key reasons. Number 1 is for the functional strength I gain by doing that exercise. When we look at total body strength, which is critically important for a lot of reasons, your torso, the muscles that make up your torso, which we refer to as spinal fitness, are fundamental in that strength. So you need to have a strong abdominal wall to have good functional strength. You also need strong abdominal muscles to maintain good spinal fitness, which protects the central nervous system, which is the spinal cord in your brain. So this is an essentially critical reason why we all want to be doing that exercise when we're here at MedFitness and doing it properly, but don't expect it to have any effect on the size of the fat cells in your waistline. So what does influence fat cell size in the waistline? You could probably guess it. It is 100% the food that you're eating. So if you want to change waistline size, it's all about your diet. It's about reducing calories sufficiently so you can create an energy deficit and decrease the size of fat cells. We're not going to take a deep dive on that, but we want to maintain that clear separation of those two. Abdominal crunch exercise improves functional status of the core and the torso and spinal fitness, and it protects the muscles of your body overall and the central nervous system. So that's our first mistake. We think abs are going to shrink our waistline. They're not. You got to look at your food, guys. Number two is that we perform the exercise leg curl, which is the second exercise here in the line at MedFitness on the A line, which everyone knows. We perform leg curl, but we really think that this is unnecessary because there's never a time in your daily life where you are sitting and pulling your heels back the way you do on the leg curl machine. So you're wondering, is this necessary, or am I just doing it because my trainer is telling me to do it? And well, let's look at this for a second. What's happening on leg curl? You're working the bicep femoris, which is the back of the femur, the back of your upper leg. Two big, strong muscles that go from the knee up into the back of the hip. And so those two muscles are critical for standing up, sitting down, walking, climbing the stairs, getting into the car, doing dozens and dozens of functional activities on a daily basis. They're absolutely critical for those things. And so when we think about this exercise, we want to realize that the truth behind it is that strength is general, the application of strength is specific. This gets into that whole arena of functional exercises. When I do the leg curl, I'm making the bicep femoris, otherwise known as the hamstring, stronger, and because of that, I can perform dozens and dozens of activities safely and effectively because those muscles are functioning all day, every day. Even if you're not sitting down, pulling your heels back, they are shortening and contracting and lengthening throughout dozens of activities every day. So they're a critical muscle group in terms of general movement and function across dozens of activity patterns. So they are related, but the take-home message here is that the strength you build in your workout here is general. We're doing both simple and compound movements. The application of that strength is specific. What you do with it is very individual. So there's, again, countless ways you can move your legs and bend and twist and turn and do all kinds of specific activities and recreating that use the hamstring. But you don't have to replicate all those movement patterns in the studio, otherwise your workout would never end. You'd be here for 6 hours before training one muscle group. So yes, strength training the hamstrings is necessary and relevant, and we should be doing that activity even if you don't sit down, pull your heels back with weight on a daily basis. So that's mistake number two. We don't think it's necessary because we don't see the functionality of it. It's 100% functional when you start to use those muscles throughout the week. Mistake number three is similar to number two, is that we do the leg press exercise, which is number three on the A line. We perform that leg exercise, that hip and leg exercise, thinking that it might also be unnecessary because I'm doing a lot of leg activities in my life. I walk a lot, I do stairs, maybe I'm recreating with other activities like biking or jogging or whatever it might be, and I'm curious whether or not I need to bother with this exercise. Maybe you're even getting 10,000 steps a day and your Apple Watch or your biosensor is tracking that data for you and say, wow, I got 10,000 steps, great. I don't need to bother with leg press. I'm already using my legs. Well, that's the whole point, guys. You're using your legs, you're not training them. There is a huge difference between them. The function of muscles is to contract and allow our skeleton to generate movement. And so without muscles, we would never be able to move. So when you go out for a walk, muscles are contracting, yes, they're shortening, they're lengthening, and I am moving. I'm moving through space. There's locomotion there. Same thing for stairs, jumping, jogging, whatever it might be. Again, there's countless activities where the muscles are used. But strength training is about training the muscles. It's completely different. You can lose muscle, get weaker, lose function when you're using your muscles. You might be a walker and you might walk 5 miles every day and you've done that for years, you're going to do it for years. That will not prevent the loss of muscle as you're aging. You will get weaker even though you're walking. So we want to separate out these two activities, using versus training. At MedFitness, we are training the muscles of your skeleton. In this case, the leg press, lower body muscles. When you go out and use them, walking and doing a million other things, you're using them. That's not stimulating them sufficiently to build strength or even to maintain strength, because you will get weaker even if you're using your muscles. I'm going to quote one of the most renowned anti-aging physicians here, Dr. Walter Bortz from Stanford University. He's well known for saying that the most important organ system as you age is your legs. And why is that? Because when you lose strength in your legs, everything else moves downhill. There's a long list of metabolic downturns that occur when you're not able to walk and move, when you're not able to sit and stand, when you're not able to do all these basic activities of daily living. And those will be diminished if you're not strength training as you're aging. So we want to make sure that, yes, leg press is relevant. It's 100% relevant, because when you're active, no matter how active you are not training your muscles, you're using them, and that does not protect strength. It doesn't build muscle. It still allows for the loss of muscle as you're aging. So leg press is 110% relevant no matter what you're doing outside of the studio. Mistake number 4, when we get on the chest exercise, chest press, we're pushing forward. And this is more so the case with women. They often say that, well, I'm weak on this exercise, and so I'm not performing well on the exercise. So they feel like they're not getting benefits from the exercise because they are weak. Well, remember, this is a strength workout. You're in a strength training studio. We make the exercise hard on purpose. So if you feel weak, that's actually a good thing in your strength workout. You don't want to feel strong, because then everything is easy and we're not stimulating the muscles to adapt and grow and become stronger and healthier. But in this case, if you get on chest press, whether you're a guy or a woman or any exercise for that matter, and you feel weak because it's really difficult, it's really demanding, it challenges you, that's actually a good thing, because that is the whole intention of the strength workout, is that we work at a high level of physical intensity so that then we're stimulating our muscles at a sufficient level. And then the flip side to that, guys, the take-home message is that once you get stronger, some of you know this, once you get stronger, we make it heavier on purpose. So we never let you get to the threshold where it's easy. So don't evaluate the benefits of your exercise on, does it feel easy? Do I feel strong? You should feel weak on everything. And then that means every exercise is productive. So ladies especially, don't fool yourself into thinking because an exercise is hard, I'm underperforming, I'm not benefiting here. You're getting more benefits when an exercise is hard. That should be a point of victory for you when you say, wow, this is really tough. That's great, because that's what leads to all the downstream health and functional benefits that you get here at MedFitness. And mistake number 5 is that, again, a little more so with women than with men, but on the compound row, which is right behind me here, that's a back exercise, because women feel that their arms are weak, that they really can't pull back, and they feel that they're diminished in their ability to perform on that exercise. They'll feel like, my goodness, I just can't pull very much weight because my arms are so weak. Now, that exercise is what we call a compound movement. It just means that you're working muscles across multiple muscle groups and multiple joints. So with the rowing motion, I'm working my forearms, my biceps, my shoulders, my upper back. There's a long chain of muscles I'm working across the shoulder and the elbow. So because of that, the weak link is always going to limit you to some degree. And so in this case, it is the bicep of your upper arm. It's the muscles of your upper arm that is basically the weak link here. So you're always going to have a weak link in these linear or compound exercises. We call it the assisting muscle groups. And so do not let that discount the benefits you're getting. If you want to measure, if you want to know am I getting the best outcomes possible on an exercise? There's two things you should be evaluating, and your trainer does this consistently. You should evaluate your workout skills, which is how are you performing it? Are you maintaining proper speed? Are you working through a full range of motion? Are your transitions, changing directions, consistent? Is your form, is your posture staying consistent with where it should be? If those are in place, and then your effort, the other metric here, if your effort is high, and the best way to measure effort is to get to that point of momentary muscle failure where you can't do the last repetition. If your effort is high and your workout skills are good, then you've maximized the benefits of that exercise. You need to let go of what you think your performance should be in terms of how many reps you do. Look at each repetition, moment by moment, excellent compliance with workout skills, ending the exercise with a high level of effort and or that muscle failure will ensure that you're absolutely getting the best outcomes possible from that exercise. And that applies to every single exercise in the studio or in any strength workout for that matter. So let's summarize really quickly. We've said number one, don't expect your abs, your abdominal crunch exercise to influence your abs. You've got to look at the food that you're eating, period. Number two, even if an exercise doesn't feel like it's functional because you don't do it, it builds muscles that allows you to then apply that strength to dozens of movement patterns and be more functional, even if you don't feel like the movement itself is functional. Leg press is relevant. Why? Because those muscles are the most essential muscles in your body, and training them is the only way to protect them. Using your muscles does not prevent muscle loss and strength loss. Number four was if your upper body is weak and you're underperforming, don't view or assess your effectiveness on that. We make it heavy and hard and difficult on purpose. It should be hard. So if you feel weak, that's good. That means the weight is sufficiently challenging to get benefits out of it. And lastly, we said that if you feel like you've got a weak link on an exercise, on a pushing or pulling movement, again, assess your effectiveness, not on how many reps you do, assess it on your workout skills and high levels of effort, and in reaching that muscle failure, the point where you can't do another repetition. Apply those to your strength training, guys, and you will get the most out of your workout, and you'll have a healthy love-hate relationship. You'll love the benefits you're getting. You'll hate the way the exercise feels because it's tough and demanding. Thanks for watching tonight, guys. I look forward to seeing you next month. You can see this video and share this video with friends and family by going to our learning center, which is medfitnessprogram.com/blog. See you next time.